Hello and welcome to Test Your Might, the video game debate show. Here, back at it again with episode 84. Coming at you with a lot of news today. One, we're going to talk about the Cult of the Lamb, a PC game over on Steam. $25 right now. Pretty interesting gameplay and game aspects. Then we're going to talk about PlayStation and how they could possibly be paying off developers to keep games out of Game Pass. Or not. We'll debate it. We'll talk about it. And much, much more. But first, let's go ahead and introduce the panel. We've got the normals here, the shenanigans here, but we also have a guest, a rival of Cicero, of the Stubby Stand, Sharif Jackson. Welcome back, and how are you today?
Doing well, y'all. Thanks. Always love being here on the What the Fun Network. So let's have a good show.
How about you, Cicero? How are you doing over there?
I'm doing great, man. I got my brothers here with me. I get to be a shenanigan. And I get to layeth the smack it down.
Ooh.
On Sharif Jackson yet again.
I don't know. He's done the parsecs in like what? How quick?
The time gets shaved down every time I do it. I think it's down to.
He's always beating his ghost. That's what he's doing.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Every time I do it, there's a little Mario Kart style ghost in front of me.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, as always, if you like what you hear here, it's probably going to be a very insane, maybe derailed episode over here at the What the Fun podcast. Leave us a review down below if you're on Spotify or on Apple Music. Go ahead and let us know right down below how we're doing. 5 stars on the mobile Spotify. And also, if you're watching our pretty face and you get that reference of the parsecs and the light speed jumps. Hi, how you doing? Best way to watch us and see us and hear us. You get to see us break from all the jokes and shenanigans that take place. Let us know down below with a comment. Subscribe, hit the bell, let us know. You know the things. Click all the buttons. It's free. And
right.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of housekeeping. One, we just finished off the Hobbit series. Finally, we're going to be moving into the bread and butter, the dinner plate we all love to eat, the Lord of the Rings saga, right before that Amazon show hits. And we might have some kind of a contest coming out soon with an award of some kind, Lord of the Rings related. We're working on the details for that, but it should be coming at you while we do these 3 next episodes.
A precious?
Very precious. Very 4K resilient precious.
Precious.
But yeah, that's what we got.
Power. I love it.
We're also going to try to fit in that little Prey episode. I know we've been watching it. Prey is wow.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's the prequel to Predator, if you didn't know, over on Hulu, and one of their best premieres that I've ever seen on Hulu for sure.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So let's get into it. The question of the week. It's still that Getting to Know Us series. Favorite sport memory of all time. Let's throw it at the guest first. Sharif, how do you answer this? Your favorite sport memory of all time?
Yeah, my favorite sport memory. So I love my sports. I really do. And this is going to be a great one for me. As some people might know or might not know, I'm a New York Knicks fan. I was not alive when the Knicks last won a championship. But my favorite memory is still a Knicks memory, even though it did not lead to a championship. All right. And that memory, this is one of my favorites. It was hard for me to pick a absolute favorite, but that memory was, the Knicks making it to the finals in 1994. It was. As most East Coast teams in that era that were championship contenders, you basically spent 15 years losing to either the Celtics or the Pistons. So you kind of had no chance at really making it to the finals, and it was kind of breaking that streak. After 3 years of the Bulls making it, obviously. Michael Jordan had retired, but the
may
Bulls
have led to it a little bit.
But the Bulls were still very, very good.
Yeah.
I mean,
they had a good team.
Pippen really put the team on his back, and and but yeah, I remember being so happy after that. That was probably the happiest I've been as a Knicks fan, was actually knowing that we were making the finals. So yeah, that was, I can't remember a time being happier as a Knicks fan than that time. So that's probably my personal one of my favorite sports moments.
Definitely a good one for sure. When Michael Jordan stepped down, definitely helped your home team out a little bit, for sure. Cicero, sports.
So the funny thing about that particular moment, it was a highlight for me as well. But I wasn't in New York for it. I was stationed in California, so I was watching all of this stuff happen, but couldn't be in New York when it was happening. But there was one thing that I was in New York for. My greatest sports memory has got to be November 1st of 1996, when Charlie Hayes caught a ball in foul territory to end the game against the Atlanta Braves when the Yankees won the World Series. This is, now I'd been alive for 2 World Series and maybe 1 World Series appearance, but all of those happened before I was 6 years old. So this was the first time that the Yankees had finally fulfilled the promise of making it back to the World Series and winning. And this is on the heels of the Mets being a very, very dominant baseball team, perennial. They were good a lot. They were good a lot, perennially good. And I lived in Long Island, and anyone that knows anything about New York is that when it comes to baseball, Queens, some of Brooklyn, but Queens and Long Island are for the Mets, and then Manhattan and the Bronx are for the Yankees, and Staten Island's for the Yankees as well. But as a Yankee fan growing up in Mets territory, while the Mets were good, it was awful. So to see, and the Yankees just could not get it together, but to finally see them get it together and win that championship, I will never, ever, ever forget that moment. Never forget that moment.
It's a good one for sure as well. I am kind of like on the opposite side, say like Mike's standpoint. He grew up watching sports and played sports games throughout his entire life, and I did the exact opposite, and I just started. So I thought about this long and hard, and I thought, I watched the Cubs win. I watched the Blackhawks win. I'm a fan of hockey overall, not big into sports, but I thought I'm going to draw a thin line here between gaming and sports. And what hit me hard was back in 2016 when Rocket League was added to the esports on NBC. And I feel like that was a monumental moment for gaming in general, to see a game be played on national TV. I thought that was huge. And for winning money and stuff, just like sports players get paid, it was just good. So I think that's where it hits, that Rocket League being added to the NBC to a sport, pretty much being broadcast to
it is a sport.
Yeah, it's a sport. So that was big for me. I think that's what it is. I used to play it a lot, and that's cool.
Rocket League is spectacular, right? Like it's when it's a game, and that's how it's a sport, right? Like I can go out and I can shoot hoops and play basketball and do stuff on the basketball court, even when I was at my physical peak, right? And know that I was good, all right? I was good enough to play with my contemporaries.
It was like
yesterday. But I always knew that the people that were my age, that were the professionals, did this at a level that I just could not, like, I couldn't even comprehend. And I've played Rocket League, and I got okay. But then I watched the pros play it, and it's almost like it's a different game.
It is.
It's almost like how are you doing the things that you're doing? Like what?
Yeah, the amount of tricks and things that come into it, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible, and you know, it's an exceptional amount of skill, but you know that in order for them to do that, they put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that, you know, that's what athletes do.
Yeah.
They are athletes.
Definitely true. Yeah. So that's our top sports moments, with an asterisk on mine, or memories anyway. So let's go into what have we been playing. Sharif, I'll start at you this time again. What have you been playing lately?
Yeah. Well, every time I'm here, I mention Destiny 2. Always playing that. So now, don't really, I guess, have to get into that. It's just my go-to game that I always come home to. I've also recently gotten a little bit back into Fall Guys.
Okay.
And I think it's because I guess I didn't know that when Epic bought them, that they implemented like cross progression with the other versions. So I just been you know, because they released it on the Switch recently, so I can merge like my Steam stats with the Switch stats, and it all like updates everything. So yeah, I've just been playing just a round or two every day. Super fun game. I really love it. Tons of unlockables and just weird events. To like me, it's like a cool like wind down. Like, all right,
yeah,
I'm done with gaming today. Let me play a round or two of Fall Guys, and just have something ridiculous happen. You know, so I love that. I recently finished Stray, which was a lot of fun. Playing as a cat, doing cat-like things in a cat-like cyberpunk cat.
Or Red 13.
It's a game. You're a cat.
Thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You're Stray.
And and I also have been. What else have I been playing? I played. You know what? Let me bring up my list right here. Actually, so like Mario Kart 8.
The expansion.
Yeah. So like they've been like releasing these waves of a DLC packs. So like man, that game has been out for like it's like probably second to maybe like
GTA 5.
Maybe GTA 5. Because like Mario Kart 8 is like a Wii U game, you know? And,
wow.
And they're still releasing stuff.
And it's good stuff too.
Yeah. Since
holy crap, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, it's 8 years old.
Yeah, it's wow. and it's still selling like quite a bit. Since Evo was on, I reinstalled like Mortal Kombat 11 and Street Fighter 5 to try to fake like I'm actually good at these games that I don't practice at. But every year Evo just inspires me. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be the year where I really like, you know, get back to my like
next year
early
I will
90s
be on
like
Evo.
Street Fighter 2,
New Year's
like,
resolution every year.
And it just doesn't happen. But I was particularly impressed with how Mortal Kombat 11, their training mode gets way deep down into frames and you know and like how to interrupt like attacks. All this stuff that I mean in these trainings they should just show you just the moves and that's it. But like they're really trying to show you like how to actually like
get
compete.
Good.
Yeah.
Right.
So like I was playing a bunch of MK11 and Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge was also a fun game.
Mike's praised that for weeks now.
Yeah, so Revenge. I mean if you like beat 'em ups, you know, it's a beat 'em up and it's great. So.
Yep.
All right. Well, that's a lot of goodies. Cicero, over to you. What do you got?
I finished my Madden franchise.
Okay.
With our in 2030, we finished with the Super Bowl. Both teams undefeated. Someone's always gotta go. Cicero's Jets versus Mo's Falcons, and those Falcons whooped my butt. Lost big, but the final tally is 7 Super Bowls for me, 2 Super Bowls for him. And then we're going to move on to the next game, Madden 23, which I played the beta of and really enjoyed. I'm very, very excited for Madden 23.
QB Vision.
So I'll be playing. Yeah, they're bringing it back, and it works, and it's kind of intuitive now. It actually works really well. I'll be looking forward to playing that on Tuesday. Some more baseball, MLB The Show, and I've been enjoying that. Revisited Forza Horizon 5.
Ooh, nice.
And the Hot Wheels expansion.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm having a blast in Hot Wheels land. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous. But it's gorgeous. It's humongous. It's, gravity defying. It's all of the things. They added a bunch of new cars. If you haven't played it, go out and play it. There's a lot of content there. There's a lot of content, which is great. And I've also been playing Fall Guys, but based on someone's recommendation here, played some Power Wash Simulator.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How'd you like that?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so two cool things. This is obligatory praise of Game Pass, right? So I did cloud gaming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh yeah, let me play some Power Wash Simulator. This isn't a game that I need to download. I'll just play it in the cloud. So I just played it in the cloud, it was fun. It was fun to play. I got through 3 missions. Oh no, I did 2 main missions and a side quest, and I was like, all right, I gotta stop, because you can because you could
It's 6 a.m. now.
keep going, right, yeah, you keep going, and it's 6 a.m. now, because I am one of those people that gets really obsessive about that kind of stuff, oh, I gotta make sure everything is clean. I got 100% it all.
I did.
So
yeah,
and that that could be a moment. So but yeah, I get the appeal. And the fact is that I was able to try it, and I pushed the button, and less than 2 minutes later I was playing the game. So and I didn't have to install anything. So
that's always positive.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Glad you gave it a shot for sure.
Yeah, it's not as fast. I'll say this much about cloud gaming. It's not as fast as Stadia, but it is more convenient than Stadia, which I'm still paying for, by the way. I haven't used it in a long time, but I still have it. Yeah.
As for myself, I dabbled a little bit in NHL, played a few games of that, enjoyed it, reliving old memories.
Nice.
Then I played some VR games because one of my girlfriend's daughters had a birthday, and we got her an Oculus. So she's been playing it, and I loaded it with games, so she's good to go. So playing that, and then
games.
Oh yeah, what anything good?
Everything that I've Beat Saber, Job Simulator, stuff that I've already played. I didn't install poker for her, but it made me want to go home and play poker for myself. But yeah, the Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, that's always fun.
Oh gosh, oh jeez,
scary.
That's
why I got those infrared things just for the night.
Oh, did you get it?
Yeah, I got 3 of
lights?
those things, dude. I've got Resident Evil 4 and Five Nights, and that's what I use those for.
Oh man.
But other than
this is for people who don't know, you can get for $20, you can get these little infrared lights, so you can play your VR, you can play your Oculus in low light situations where the lights are either off or very dim, because the IR actually works better with the lights lower, and your VR will be even more
responsive.
Yeah.
Other than that, I did pick up a game off of Game Pass as well that I wanted to get started on. As Dusk Falls.
Oh yeah, okay.
And I played maybe 4 hours straight, enjoying the crap out of that story. It is a straight narrative. choose your own ending, timeline split, butterfly effects, with a really interesting graphic style, which I thought at trailer, I know I've spoke on here, it felt like my internet was lagging, but I've grown accustomed to it, and I really enjoy it because it allows you to sit on those pictures and think of the emotions while they are being live action, full spoken dialogue at you. So you're able to just listen to it and feel the emotion through those images. And they do swap rather regularly. So you do have a lot of frames of different actions being done, from opening a door to, getting out of a car. You have all those transitions done really well. And it throws you for a loop. It's one of those, you're learning the story, and then it's like, oh, let's go back 2 days ago and find out something else that's going to completely impact the story now, which is really good. But yeah, enjoying that game a lot. It's very good. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. And yeah, let's go into the news. We've got 2 big topics. Let's go into the Xbox accusation of Sony. Xbox is saying that PlayStation is paying off developers and producers of games to not put them in Game Pass, which is pretty evil if they are doing it. Let's talk about that. Go over to Cicero first on this one. What do you feel about that?
So I mean, I guess I have some questions about that, right? Mm-hmm. Who in Xbox is saying this, right? Like, is this, is this a person, or is someone from PR coming out and saying this about, like, is this a, for lack of a better term, formal accusation of the business practices for PlayStation?
It does say that Microsoft, the parent company of Xbox, actually filed a document that they're blocking fees. According to the statement, Xbox claimed or accuses Sony of fearing Game Pass's innovation business model and offers high quality content at low cost to gamers. So this is Microsoft. This is official. Yeah.
Right. So this isn't just somebody claiming it. So I am likely to believe that Microsoft they're saying this definitively. And if they're saying it definitively, it's because they have proof. So I'm likely to believe that they're correct in their assertion that this is something that's happening. Mm-hmm. And I think the reason that they're, the reason that Sony is doing it, I think is probably also correct, right? Like that Microsoft has something with Game Pass and so Sony's got to figure out a way to make sure that Game Pass doesn't grab more market share and they don't gain more subscribers. So whatever we can do to keep people or keep games on our console and not on our competitors' consoles, we're going to go and do. So Sony probably is paying these developers to stay off a console. Now, like, if they are, I guess good for them. Like it sucks in a way, but at the same time, like, look, if I'm a developer, right, and I'm making these games and I don't have a lot of money and these games cost a lot of money to make, and Sony is going to give me money and I don't have to do any real extra work. All I've got to do is not put it on Xbox. Mm-hmm. If Microsoft is going to give me more money than Sony was, if they're going to give me more money to be on Xbox than Sony was going to give me to stay off of Xbox, then I'll go to Microsoft. Otherwise, I'll take Sony's money. Yeah, those checks cash.
So Xbox really takes developers in a case-to-case basis based on each game, from what I've heard. So, they give them a lump sum or whatever they'd like, and they also make a kind of like a revenue after that based on how much attention each game gets individually. And Sony is a completely different business model where $70 for this game, and they just want to preserve that because that's where they make their money. So, Sharif, how do you feel about it?
I mean, I guess my question is, how is this any different from paying for a console exclusive or paying for something to launch on your console first? Like, I feel like this is, now, if you have a problem with those things, I can understand you having a problem with this. But to me, this is just another example where someone's like, hey, we'll pay you a little bit to launch Air Force or to keep, to put Spider-Man in the Avengers game here, or, like to me, this is not I don't think that revolutionary of a thing. I don't necessarily like it because I'm a gamer and I want, cool stuff to be everywhere. But from a business perspective, like I don't know, I honestly don't see anything wrong with this. I think it's just, company trying to use their advantage. I did question it if it was really happening, but as you said before, if it's Microsoft putting it, they would have to have some proof.
Yeah.
Because it does seem like, to me, Sony is still kind of like the market leader, and I don't see why they would need to do this really. The only thing I could think is that they must really be banking on the fact that there is a large number of people that own both consoles, and would, because I don't think that they would be like worried about someone buying an Xbox instead of buying a PlayStation, but they might be worried about people having both and not buying the PlayStation version of the game because it appears on Game Pass.
Well, I do think that there is something to be said about the fact that it's still difficult to get PlayStations, and it's less difficult to get Xboxes now. So if your choice is I can get an Xbox and potentially play those games that were on Sony, but I know are coming to Game Pass, and I can buy an Xbox, then I'll buy an Xbox. But if those games are only on PlayStation, then I'm going to save my money and wait for my chance to buy a PlayStation instead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't think they're worried about moving hardware. Like, as soon as this stuff drops, it disappears.
Yeah, no,
whether it goes to scalpers or to actual people, like it disappears,
Right.
So yeah, I don't know if they're really worried about losing hardware sales.
Well,
I think it's more
they're
about
not
the software
producing
sales.
them. They're not producing more because like Xbox is selling more hardware than PlayStation is at this point. But they're but I think the PlayStation market is still full of scalpers. But they're not, but they're still not producing as many either. They still have a manufacturing problem.
No, I don't think that it has to do with console sales in particular. I think it's, I'm a firm believer that the Blizzard acquisition is going to close by the end of this year. Like I believed it back in April of last year, but I was called crazy. But I feel like it's going to close, and I think this is a way of Xbox saying like, hey, they're doing some shady stuff over there too. Just close this thing. Let us have it.
Oh, interesting.
It's a way of Xbox kind of like moving that, oh, they have everything bar down a little bit. I think that has to do with it a little bit.
Huh, that's a good call.
I like that.
I like that perspective.
Send that to the regulators.
Right.
Yeah. So on to the next topic. Sad news here. Not so much for Midnight Suns, for me anyway, but for Hogwarts Legacy, yes. They are both delayed till next year, early next year, thank God. February for Hogwarts, not sure when for Marvel. You guys have a date for that. Marvel Midnight Suns, yeah. It's just more delays, right? It's coming everywhere.
Yeah. Look, based on what they promised in Hogwarts, I think that game should probably be delayed to February of 2024.
25?
I just right. I just
gen.
don't. Right. I just don't. I am so dubious.
It was like Starfield, honestly. It just kept going.
Yeah, right. It just kept going. Like, and we're gonna build pillows for you. Right. Like it was ridiculous. So I mean, if I would be scared. I would be scared to play that game in February of 2023.
Yeah.
'Cause I just don't believe that the game that they show, and the other part is they showed that video, right? Like where, you know, the Peter Molyneux video, because that's what it sounded like. But they haven't shown us anything since.
Yeah. That's a big
and call. Right. And now this game is gonna come out in, you know, 7 months. And we still haven't seen anything to wet our whistle. I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I just hope they can live up to the hype that they put in my head, because that was
Yeah.
That was a whole lot of hype for both Starfield and for Hogwarts for sure.
I think some of this is the cyberpunk effect, man. I think these big franchises are like, wait a minute, maybe we do need to like delay this, because all we made was that vertical slice, and we got people hyped up, but we can't just throw it out there and say that we'll patch it later, which a lot of, you know, which used to be kind of the thing is we'll get it out and you know, fix it in a year or so. But I also think something with like both, I think for like both of these games actually, like for Hogwarts, it's not like there is a, like, you know, like the last Fantastic Beasts just came out, right? Sorry, it didn't just come out. Came out a couple months ago. So it's not like this game is tied with any, like they want to get it out, you know, while there's some buzz around that franchise. Like for the people that are into that, you could launch it anytime. Like it's not like it's gonna lessen like if you really love that like universe, your love of it isn't going to lessen whether it launches in 23, 24, or even the Cicero predicted, 2028 on the PS6.
Hey, we might have GTA 6 by then.
And for like Midnight Suns, I think again, like that's something that, I mean, I'm somewhat interested in. But I think that that's something they definitely want to get right, because I don't, honestly, like aside from Spider-Man, really, like, you know, there's not a great track record of stuff with the Marvel name on it coming out as games. So I think that they really want to nail that. So I'm all about like delaying stuff, you know, like just get it right, y'all. Like you know what I'm saying?
I think, Cyberpunk, and unfortunately, I hate to say it, but Halo. You know? And these are, you know, two games that clearly could have been delayed. I will still contend that the right call was to release Halo multiplayer and then just take the time to finish the campaign and have it completely finished, and then release that. And then release that with co-op and all of the bells and whistles. And you know, I'm afraid that when it finally does release, it's going to be irrelevant. You know, it's going to be a tree falling in the forest.
Yeah, I definitely want to echo what Sharif said about Marvel doesn't have a lot of footing, you know, other than a couple games. DC is much more gratifying. You know, you've got the whole Arkham series, you've got Superman 64, you got like you got a whole bunch of good games on that half.
I mean, you got the Injustice series.
Yeah, Injustice. Yeah, and Mortal Kombat versus
great
DC
games. Some great DC games.
But yeah, I've been seeing a lot of that Forge content that is in like that Flight. Jeez, some of that stuff looks amazing. Like that could take care of the dry spell that we're having. For sure, for Infinite. Give it to the you know, the people who love the game to create your content for you, right? But that's what's gonna happen.
All right. And like I don't mean to turn this into a Halo like discussion, but man, I can't, like, I got an email about a flight like, hey, try the co-op campaign. I was like, this hasn't launched yet. Yeah, like I almost couldn't believe it. Like I was like, man, like I just. As much as I loved Halo Infinite when it came out, you know, I'm not, you know, I think I'm not the target. Like I'm just looking to play the campaign, a little bit of a multiplayer, and say like this is cool, and then move on, you know. But like for like people that wanted a more lasting experience, like I just can't. It's shocking to me how it's turned from this like they finally nailed a good Halo campaign after 5 to like this negative thing. It's just
Cicero and I are definitely on the other side of that coin with co-op.
Right.
That's what we were looking forward to when they announced Halo Infinite,
right.
And that's how we play Halo games. Like I dabbled in the story, maybe for like one mission, but then I was like, I'm waiting, and I haven't touched campaign at all.
I have not even started it.
Not believe it hasn't launched yet.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I'll wait as long as it takes, but it's got to be there.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
It's. Hey, hubris. Hubris and sometimes finances drive these decisions, and to their peril. I think another thing that we can say about these delays is what can't be understated is the impact, obviously, that COVID has had, and the way that we've changed, the way that people work and where they are and how those things come together, and we're starting to see how it's impacting gaming. Right, last year didn't have the same impact, and the year before didn't really have the same impact on those games because most of the stuff that was delayed was QA and like the finishing touches, but these are games that were supposed to be releasing this year, were games that were in development or on the roadmap in 2020, for heavy development that was subverted for who knows how long. Until they started to gain that type of workflow again, but numbers and numbers of countless hours were missed and lost as a result of how things change. So it's a hell of a thing. Many companies have quoted that they weren't ready for the switch to home office setting, for those developers, and they've said that they've lost at least years on development time from that switch. So we're getting the residual effects now. Hopefully that anger that we have towards COVID will carry over into our namesake here over at Test Your Might. This is not going to be a normal Test Your Might this time. Sharif, this is going to be your first remix ever. Remix 2.5, 365 over 2 divided by pi, whatever it is. Test Your Might, the namesake. Now, how we do this is we have 4 different debate topics. They are numbered if you're looking at the document for Sharif or Cicero. Sharif, you get to choose which debate we talked about first. You get to choose that based on that number. And also, you get to decide if you'd like to start it or if you want Cicero to start it.
I love
You have all of the power. So you can technically start with the blind fight if you so wish, or you could just go into other stuff.
Yeah. Well, you know what, guys? I am going to leave it up to chance.
All right.
Rolling a D4 over here.
Roll a D4.
D4.
Yeah, I'm rolling a D4. We'll. I can't put it on my camera, but let's see what's going on. All right. Super Punch Out.
All right. Number 3 debate topic. Super Punch Out, the old NES game I'm sure you're familiar with Mike Tyson, has a 2-player mode that was just discovered after 25 years. So what other old school retro game would be awesome, groundbreaking, if a 2-player mode was found? Sharif, would you like to go first or second?
Second.
Cicero, you have the torch in your hand. Lead off strong.
What retro game would be awesome if a 2-player mode was found?
And I will be looking up the game to see if there is a 2-player mode already in it.
Okay. All right. So, in the arcades, in fact, we were actually talking about it earlier today. In the arcade, there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, and it was awesome. One of the most awesome things about it was that you and 3 friends could stand together and say it's pizza time and high five each other and cowabunga and fight your way through it to fight Shredder and Krang. And then that game came to the NES. Or did it? A Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game came to the NES, but it was a very, very different game, and it was a single-player game. So people were really upset until they made a game called TMNT The Arcade Game. That was a 2-player game, not 4-player game. But the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, if that was a 2-player game, would completely change that game. I would love it.
Okay, we've got the Ultra. Is it Ultra Games? It is. Ultra Games.
Yes.
TMNT.
Yes, which was
back in 1990, 1989.
Yeah, so this was, I think Ultra was a Konami sub-brand. So back in the day on the NES, companies were limited with the number of games they could produce on that imprint. So they would make different imprints for games. And Ultra was a Konami one.
All right. Sharif, what you got over there?
All right. Speaking of defunct developers, Sunsoft, Sunsoft Games, also on the NES, released a very, very terrific Batman game on the NES. Very great game, great cinematics, especially for an 8-bit system, but it was only single player and you could only be Batman. Let's get some 2 players in there. Let's get Robin. Let's get Nightwing. Let's get Batgirl. Like you could basically have a select, out of the plethora of folks in the Batman sphere, in the Bat sphere, right? I obviously this is 89 Batman, so like it was based on the original movie, but hey, maybe you could choose Adam West Batman, I think that would make a great 2-player game, awesome platformer, and it would make it a little bit easier if there was a friend, because the game was notoriously difficult, very difficult.
All right, we've got 2 side-scrolling action games here over at Test Your Might. Cicero, why is TMNT in need of a second player more than Batman?
Simply, it's in the name, right? Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right? There are plural in the name, but you could only play as one turtle, right? It wasn't Batman. That wasn't the name of the game. Wasn't the name of the movie. Wasn't Batman. but we've got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we're fulfilling the promise that the title gives you right off the rip. That was a mistake. We're righting a wrong. This is, Sharif is proposing some type of abomination where there's time travel involved. You're gonna have 60s Batman merging with 89 Batman. And then, who's Jack Nicholson's going to be there? Cesar Romero's going to be there. Like, it's who knows what's going to happen, right? You're crossing streams. We're just doing what we're supposed to do here.
All right, Cicero over there, grammatically, plural-wise, your game does make sense. Sharif, fire back.
Cicero's living a lie, because in said game, you can choose your turtle. So the turtles are present. Now they don't play together, but they're all in there. You could play as Donatello with the dope range, So they're all in there, but they're out to prove themselves. They want to prove that they're not just one of 4, right? They want to prove that like they can do it on their own. So your game has all the turtles in it, right? My game only has Batman, and that's it, which is why it's called Batman. But Batman is best when he's calling on his squad, you know what I'm saying? And there are times in the game, specifically in the final boss encounter, where you got to fight Firebug and then Joker back to back. So you're fighting multiple people, but it's just you, Batman has already proven himself. He needs to train young Robin. He needs to help Nightwing get that swag back, Todd, there's so many different people that he can bring in, and he doesn't have to take all the glory. He wants to share in that glory.
All right,
Yeah, so Sharif correctly said that the Batman video game was based on the Batman movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where Batman had no sidekicks. There was no Dick Grayson. There was no Jason Todd. All he had was Vicky Vale and Alfred, right? And they're in the game, but they're not playable. Like, you're not going to play as Alfred. No. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is based on a cartoon and a movie and a comic book series where there were 4 turtles. And as Master Splinter would say, Sharif said, "Oh, you want to go and set yourself out on your own?" Master Splinter would say, "You are brothers, and you must, you must fight together as one, my turtles."
As much as I love your impersonation of giant rat, I'm gonna cut it off. Sharif, I think Cicero destroyed you on this. To be honest, I think that those points from the name to the fact that it is based upon 4 turtles fighting together. Batman is a Lone Ranger most of the time in that original movie. I think those strikes were a little too hard to come back from, for sure. So that's 1 point for Cicero. Cicero, it's your choice. Would you like,
as he would say, cowabunga?
Would you like number 1, number 2, or number 4?
All right. Let's go with number 1.
Number 1. All right.
Number 1.
With all the delays happening and sending a lot of games over to 2023, what game should be in your must-play catalog from your backlog this season? And Cicero, would you like to go first or second?
I'm going to go second.
All right. Sharif, the torch has been handed.
Point of clarification, does that mean anything prior to, like, anything out now?
Anything that's out currently as
out
of this time, as of this recording. And technically, you're not supposed to have played it. It should be in your personal backlog.
Okay, cool. Okay. My personal backlog. All right, so I do have to change around a little bit. So I was thinking of something that I did play. Okay, so one game that I did not play, but I think will be a good game to break out now is one game that, when it came out, I wasn't quite sure about it, but over the years I've heard that this game, it actually does live up to its, I say, very accomplished director's name. And this game is the director's cut of Death Stranding. This was a game that just seemed, when it came out, I was like not quite sold on it. I was like delivering packages, and there's physics that could make me trip over and fall down a mountain and lose all my packages. But the more I heard about, I did kind of spoil myself on the story, I guess, because I was kind of like, I'm never gonna play this, so so maybe something in the story will like grab me, and it seems actually pretty interesting, so I think it was a game that I overlooked, maybe wrongly, and it's definitely something that I think is a good one. It's a meaty one, and it's long, and it like has those long cutscenes that you're expecting from Kojima. So, Death Stranding's my pick.
Other than carrying packages and seeing like a baby that's like all oily, that's all I remember about Death Stranding. And still don't know what it's about. Cicero, are you also picking a single player game or something multiplayer?
I am picking a single player game.
All right.
This is a game that is in my backlog that will allow me to do other things. And that is Horizon Zero Dawn.
The original.
So the original. Mm-hmm. I have not played it, but I have it. It is sitting there, and waiting for me to play. And now is a perfect time and the season is just right. So I can play Horizon Zero Dawn, and then that gives me the space to play Horizon Forbidden West.
All right. Also in my back catalog, have not played it yet, so this will be fun for both of you trying to win me over at games that I've never played. Sharif, go ahead. Why is yours going to fill that gap, the gap of all those games getting delayed better?
Well, I think it's a very unique experience from what I hear and read. It's really no other game kind of like it. It's not even like Metal Gear or the other like Kojima stuff that you would be more familiar with. Also, the main character, who is modeled after Norman Reedus. If you're a Walking Dead fan or just familiar with that stupid bike show that he had, it looks and sounds just like him. I think that you don't get a lot of games that are like fronted by like really known like actors or actresses. So like I think having that experience is a unique one. I really think that this is something that like an experience that you can't get anywhere else. And I'm always a fan, as a fan of gaming, of trying out things that are unique. So that's what would prompt me to do some and suggest that, like you as well, try some Death Stranding.
All right, Cicero, back at you. Same question.
Yeah. So I think the great thing about Sharif's game is, everything that Sharif said about his game is correct. But what's great about Horizon Zero Dawn is that it takes a genre that we've kind of known, that action genre, and it brings it in different directions. When we thought like, oh, okay, we kind of know what the gimmick is and stuff like that. We realized that in this game that we didn't really know the gimmick, right? And the gimmick was like we've got robot dinosaurs. How did these exist? And you can shoot them and do all sorts of weird stuff. But not only that, but the story is really good. It's critically acclaimed. When I didn't think that it was going to be that great. Like I just thought it was going to be a gimmick, and it turns out not to be. Mm-hmm. And it's gorgeous. It is a beautiful, beautiful looking game. It was one of the greatest games, one of the greatest looking games to make it to consoles when it released for the PS4, and the sequel is doing the exact same thing for the PS5. So I'm really looking forward to playing those games. And the other thing is, yes, you want something to occupy your time, but you don't want it to be the only thing that you do. And these games are just, I think, the sweet spot and like long games, 20, 25 hours, 26 hours, and you can kind of get through the story and do enough to go on and do something else. So like it still honors your time, as opposed to, I think Kojima kind of like, like he wants you to be there for him, which is, I think, a thing that Death Stranding has going for it.
All right. I think we've spent enough time building our own games up here over at Test Your Might. Now it's time for Finish 'Em. Why not Death Stranding? Why not Horizon Zero Dawn? Sharif, go ahead.
Why not Horizon Zero Dawn? Horizon is a great game. I played through it. I played through Forbidden West. But when it comes down to it, it does follow the template. It does it very well. But if you've played a big open world AAA game, you've gotten a good experience of what Horizon is. Now, Horizon, as I said, as like Cicero said, the robot dinosaurs and stuff, definitely unique. But when you strip it down, you're kind of doing a similar thing, like repeatedly, that you've done in many other games. So I think that if you're looking for something to spend your time on, I think kind of losing yourself in this Kojima experience, that honestly, with a lot of these kind of games, you can just like walk around and look at the scenery and like that kind of stuff. Like, it's not even necessarily about getting through the game. Like, you can still have like a satisfying experience just like through the like emergent kind of gameplay, which doesn't exist as much in like a game like a Horizon. So that's why I'd put Stranding over Horizon here.
All right, Cicero, why not Death Stranding?
Because it's weird, man. It's weird. You know, there's babies in jars. There's, you know, yeah, you're falling down like, and you know, and you're delivering boxes. It's a weird game. And you know, like, do you want to be like, there's the whole reason that you're playing games right now, right? The whole reason that you're talking about playing games in your back catalog is because there aren't any new games to play, right? And do you really want to be left with the last game that you played is Death Stranding, and there's no palate cleansers left that are new and fresh because you're playing this weird behind game and there are no games to help you out? Ugh, whoa. It's weird.
All right, rebuttal. Go ahead, Sharif.
Okay. Weird is good, man. This is gaming, man. Don't play the same old stuff, man. Get weird. Get weird instead of getting bored. Get weird.
All right, Cicero, you get a rebuttal too.
Look, man. There's weird and cries for help, and that's what Kojima makes. Sometimes he makes cries for help. Yeah, and that's you know, I don't want to be huddled up in the fetal position after I finish playing games. You know, I got PTSD when new games come out.
All right, interesting. I think Sharif definitely won this one. He took that weird statement, even though it was kind of funny, and wore it like a vest. He talked about the cinematography type aspects of the game, of the visuals, the experience. It's more of a journey, not so much reaching the end goal, but the story leads you there and you enjoy it. I think Sharif gets that one. So that's tying it up over here, 1-1.
Right.
And now it's back over at Sharif to pick. What would you like to do? The second one or the blind fight?
Yeah, I do like saving the blind fight for last, so let's go with number 2.
All right. Have you guys heard of Cult of Lamb?
Yes.
Okay. It is on PC game. You make a cult. It's kind of got that woodland creatures kind of creepy vibe from South Park or from Happy Tree Friends show. Do you remember that?
Right.
But it is getting good reviews. So what video game character would make the best cult leader? Apparently, we're going there today. Sharif, first or second?
I'm going first, sir.
All right.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Taking it.
Yeah. You want someone charismatic. You want someone that can build up an argument, tell you why this is correct and why something else is wrong. You want to inspire people. Maybe you want someone that knows the intricacies of how to form a legal argument, has been trained in the law, that has spent a career arguing in ridiculous cases. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney.
Objection.
An incredible cult leader. If anyone has anything against him, it immediately goes into an objection cutscene, and then he picks from the proper response, and then he, you know, is able to counteract anyone's evidence against the cult. So this man knows how to argue. This man knows how to close.
How do you spell his name?
Phoenix, so P-H-O-E-N-I-X, Wright, W-R-I-G-H-T. So yeah, Phoenix Wright, cult leader of the century.
I know this guy just from the memes.
Objection.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Cicero.
So like Sherry said, right? You know, what do you want in a cult leader? You want someone who's charismatic. You want someone that people will follow. And you want a simple, digestible, easy to regurgitate message. And so that's why the perfect cult leader is Patapon from Patapon.
Patapon?
Patapon. Yeah, Patapon.
You're talking about the Beat game that was on a PSP?
Yes.
That you would click the buttons and beat?
Yes.
I love that game. All right, Sharif. Why is your attorney going to objection hearsay Patapon?
Okay, so you win. He's become famous for being this lawyer that can find a way to win all these cases. He already has fans. If you win a lot, if you show yourself as like a winner, he has fans. You know, he's like, you know, it doesn't matter how despicable of a lawyer you are. If you win, you get fans. So he already has people custom made for him to mold into his little cult members. You know, like the cult of Phoenix. You know, while Patapon is over there dancing around and making beats and being silly, Phoenix is hitting them law books and like, man, how let me study all the past cults. Let me study Ruby Ridge. You know what I'm saying? Let me study Waco. You know, he is like building on the past so that he can create his future of the cult of Phoenix. While a Patapon is more interested in having a good time.
Patapon. Go ahead.
So, and you just did it for me. So that was my argument, right? My argument was, after, you know, I listened to what Sharif had to say, and I think that everybody listened to what Sharif had to say. But if you are listening to the sound of my voice, and you already were aware of the game Patapon, ever since I mentioned it, the only thing that's been going through your head has been Patapon, because it is rhythmic. It is an earworm. It is in there. It is stuck in there. It does not go anywhere. Patapon is inside your essence. It doesn't matter what the arguments are that Phoenix Wright has to make. It's Patapon. That's it. So what are you doing? Are you sitting there and you're listening to what he's saying, or you Pataponing? That's you're Pataponing. That's it. You can't do anything else. You are powerless to the Patapon. It is done. Patapon. Cult of Patapon.
Sharif, you want to fire back a little bit? Or just call it.
I agree. It's quite an earworm for sure, but the measure of a cult leader is getting your cult to do things. Patapon can get you to say Patapon and get you to maybe move around a bit. Phoenix Wright is going to organize and say, yo, let's go take over this office building. You know, like, let's burn down this thing. You know, he's going to build an argument that will make you believe that it is your destiny to, you know, kidnap Cicero and, leave him tied up in a Brooklyn basement. You know, like he will convince you of these things. Patapon just lack the verbal linguistics. You know, they lack like the slang editorial. They lack the ebonics to really get you to, no matter what language you speak, no matter if you're casual, formal, Phoenix Wright has an argument for you to get you to do his bidding.
All right, Cicero, go ahead and fire your arrows or your swords or whatever you want to do.
So I got 3 words for you. To Sharif's comment about linguistic diversity. I've got 3 words for you, and that is I am Groot. Right? Patapon is its own language. And once you're part of the cult of Patapon, you understand what Patapon means. You get it. And so if you play Patapon, you know that people Patapon, they do a lot of things. But while they're Pataponing, and they understand what that means when it's said, what that Patapon means. Don't worry about it. If once you're part of the Patapon family, you understand a Patapon. You Patapon.
All right.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna call it.
Patapon on the river.
So I feel like Sharif has like the linguistics that makes sense. The getting people to do what you want makes sense with Phoenix, but also Cicero has that action behind it. You know, you are fighting in that game. You are moving an army pretty much to do things. So cult leaders not only have to lead verbally, but also by action to show the fear, to show the power. So I feel like both of you hit a cult leader equally. I'm giving you both half a point. First time ever here.
Whoa!
First time ever.
Whoa!
You guys both get half a point. That puts each of you at 1.5.
Revolutionary. What the fun word.
Oh.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's what's happening right now.
Shenanigans strike again.
Objection.
Right.
Yeah, the remix is actually 1.5 apparently. Onto the blind fight.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Covering my eyes right now.
So, a few weeks ago, we had a blind fight about what food would make the best helmet. So I've been revising. I've been revising this question in my head for weeks now, and making it unique enough that would make a pretty fun and memorable debate. So, this is what food would make the best weapon. But not only that, this is a MacGyver situation here. I'm sure you guys are familiar with who MacGyver is.
Yes.
You also have at your disposal 1 stick and 2 cubit length of rope. But you can use a food of your choice as well. Or just don't, just hit people with sticks and ropes. That could be your option. So what food, no restrictions, would make the best weapon in conjunction with 2 cubits, which if you know what that is, it's forearm. In the big book, that's what it is. And a rope. Right, and a stick. Stick, rope, and the food.
How big is the stick?
Stick is about the same length as the rope, if anything.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. That makes it easy.
Okay.
You guys are tied, so pick a number 1 to 10 and scream it at me now.
8.
4.
It's wrong. It was 5. You guys are terrible. All right, Cicero, you're first.
Cicero didn't scream it. Cicero didn't scream it. Objection.
True, he didn't abide by the rules. Objection. Cicero, would you like to go first or second?
I would like to go first.
All right, Cicero, your food weapon. Kabak.
My food is so there's a place in Chicago called Frontier Grill where they do whole animals, right? And they will cook a whole animal and then cut it up
in front of you,
right in front of you. It's place is delicious. It's incredible. And
I thought you were gonna have a dead animal running at people.
That's what I thought. I was like, oh my god.
So what I would like for them to cook up for me is giant mahi, aka swordfish.
Okay.
So I would have a swordfish.
A whole swordfish?
Yes, a whole.
And would you utilize the stick and rope, or would you just throw that in the trash?
I would. So what I would do is I would take the head of the swordfish, and I would use that as the sword and use the stick as the handle, and tie it together with the rope and have like the head. So yes, I would like impale it and have the head.
I don't think that counts as food. I mean, I'm not the arbitrator
it's food.
here.
It's a fish. It's food.
The
I'll allow
head
it.
of a fish.
Yeah. Well.
Okay. All right. Okay.
He cooked the whole thing at that. Do they have swordfish there?
I think they do. I'll have to check.
So.
I'll have to check that.
I have eaten swordfish. I can guarantee you, eating that.
All right. Sharif, if you come up with something that's better, I'll let you know. Go.
The head of a rhinoceros. Does that count as food? Because we're just
that's an endangered species,
animals.
sir.
No. I think a pineapple.
Okay.
I'm putting a pineapple on this thing because they have nice weight to them. Mm-hmm. They're kind of spiky on the outside. Mm-hmm. Once you get that thing swinging, you can really bop somebody on the head and get them both with the bludgeoning damage of the pineapple plus the piercing damage of the spikes on it. You know,
so you're thinking like a flail.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like I'm spinning it around.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. All right. So you've got one end attached to the stick itself as the handle, and then the other end attached to the pineapple as a flail-like weapon.
Yes.
All right, Cicero, you have a swordfish head on a stick. Go ahead. Why is yours a better weapon?
So, all right, wait. So, I have gone and looked at the Frontier restaurant, and they do not sell swordfish
heads.
Whole swordfish. You can get a whole salt salmon that's in like this giant piece of bread, but instead of doing either of those things, I will instead take from the Frontier the wild boar, and I will take the boar's head and make
is that food? Is that food?
Yeah, yes,
boar's head.
Yeah.
I mean, you eat boar's head meat all the time.
Yeah.
You eat the meat, a sliced head. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have snap.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
You
thing.
can have.
All right, Cicero, you have the boar's head instead of the swordfish. That's fine. Boar head
Yes.
on the end of the stick. Same method where it's like it's not as sharp, but it's a bludgeoning tool now, I guess.
Yes, but but with tusks.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, so you can impale people. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And this is going to be a question going to both of you as well. What game would it be in?
Oh.
All right. Just think about that. Sharif, why your flail of pineapples under the sea?
Wait. Why should it be in a game? You said
No. Why is it the better weapon and also what?
Oh yeah. Because it has double damage, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I think you can because it doesn't weigh as much as a boar's head, as far as I could think about. That means that like you can get it to its top acceleration faster, which means that you could swing faster. So even though you could get hits off faster than like a boar's head, and in worst case scenario, if that target is like a running away, you could absolutely chuck that pineapple itself, and just hit them on the back of the head with a nice spiky pineapple. So, yeah, think it's a little more manageable in the heat of battle than a boar's head.
All right. What game would it be in?
Smash Brothers. It would be like one of those power. If you're playing with the power ups on, it'd be like there's a power up where you can get like the hammer from Donkey Kong, and you just kind of go around like this.
Yeah,
it would kind of be like that, except it would just replace the hammer with a flailing pineapple.
All right.
So we got there.
Okay, Cicero, your boar head and tusk impalement device.
So this is a thing that you would use, so there would be like, you would grab the rope, and you would have the rope as kind of like a counterbalance, and then you would swing the boar's head off around, and then, almost release it and pull it back. Like a martial arts weapon. So you would throw it at people, and then the tusk could hit them, and then you'd snatch it back, and then you use it again, and you could just use it as a blunt object, or you could use it as a puncture device. And the game that you would use this in, of course, is for the DLC for one of the best games that was released this year, Seafood. And so you'd be in a crowd, and you'd be throwing your boar's head around and beating up the people, getting crazy combos with your boar's head. And if you're not watching YouTube right now, you're missing out, because I'm doing all of the motions. I am animating everything that's happening right now.
Everyone is fully animated here.
With a light show.
Yeah. I like it, kind of. It's pretty funny to think about, for sure. I'm gonna give you guys one more back and forth.
Okay.
All right. I just want you to knock down the other person's weapon.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Cicero has linked us to his own demise. He linked us. Wait, is this the boar's head in the photo you sent, or no?
No.
That's probably the restaurant.
That's a pig.
Okay.
That's the wild pig.
No. I thought the first link was to the boar's head, but not. Okay. Anyway,
no.
Here's the problem with the boar's head. Those tusks are only in one specific part of the head, so you got to be. There's such a high probability that you'll miss with the tusks. This pineapple got spikes all over it, baby. You're always gonna hit them with the spikes and the bludgeoning. Those tusks are over such a small area of the boar's head. You're gonna miss more than you hit with the piercing. You know. So, look, it's. I want 2 damages than like 1 every time. You're only gonna get that with the Pineapple Express.
Okay,
so
the Pineapple Express.
So the Pineapple Express. Now, pineapple spikes do hurt, right? They do hurt. I get it. That's a problem. And you're right? The tusks are only in the front. But if you're skilled with the tusk below, right? With you can swing that thing around and you know when you're going to hit somebody. But even if you don't, let's say you're not as experienced with that, right? You get hit with these pineapples and they stick into your arm. You're going to say, ouch, that hurt, right? And you're going to be like, when they pull them out, you're going to be upset because that hurt. But if you get hit with the tusk, you're impaled. It's more than it just hurt, right? Like, yeah, you get hit back, ooh. But like if you get impaled with the tusks, there's damage done. There is like serious, like you're asking for a timeout. You're not upset. You're in despair. You're trying to figure out what life choices led you to this moment. You're not really thinking about it. Maybe you're thinking about that with the pineapple a little, like, how am I getting hit with a pineapple? Like, this is dumb. And it hurts. But like, if you get hit with a boar's tusk, like, yo, I might die. This is bad.
Okay. All right. I see it. I see both of them. I think I'm gonna bring it down to durability here. To stay true to the weapon, which would last longer in combat. And I think Cicero's wins that argument. I think it does.
Yes,
I think the pineapple will fall apart quicker or mush. And he didn't even use he could have said, the game was Peppa Pig and it would be like, but no, he didn't. He just stayed clear of that. And the pig could have talked. It could have been awesome. But Cicero, you win. You are ending today's debate. Test Your Might remix with 2.5 as a score. First in history. Anything to say to your fans?
Thanks for always believing in me. Thanks for believing in Boars. And if you're in the Chicagoland area, go to the Frontier. Great meal. A little pricey, but it's worth it. You won't regret it. Tell them I sent you.
All right. Onto the leaderboard. Top 5 old school multiplayer games. So you're going to go ahead and list your 3, and then you will get to pick a must-have, and we'll go down. Sure, if you've been here before, you know. Go ahead, Cicero, first on this one, since you are tonight's winner with a 2.5.
Define old school.
Old school, retro, I would say PlayStation 2 and back. Because we are.
I was thinking way far back than that.
Right. Exactly.
Let's go PlayStation 2 multiplayer. Like I've got Arcaders, I believe I did on my list, but let's go. Let's go PlayStation and Xbox back. How about that? Is that better?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
So multiplayer games. So my first is Rampage World Tour.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna go. I could have gone Rampage, but I'll go Rampage World Tour. I am also going to pick. Old school multiplayer games. I'm going to pick Rainbow Six Black Arrow.
Black Arrow.
Yeah. And I am going to pick Pit Fighter.
Oh. I think that's one of the first digitized games I remember seeing ever.
Yeah.
All right, Sharif.
Yeah.
You're 3.
All right. NBA Jam. Tournament
You're on
edition.
fire.
This is tournament.
Is it the
edition.
shoes?
Tournament edition.
Oh, you
for sure.
want the tournament edition?
Yes, NBA Jam TE.
Oh, I'm writing formulas.
Right?
Objection. Go ahead.
Yeah. We're gonna go Street Fighter 2 Turbo Edition.
Nice.
And we're gonna go. I know we already mentioned this one, but I have to put it in. Well, no, I actually know. You know what? We'll go The Simpsons arcade.
Mm-hmm.
Simpsons arcade. That's a good one.
Okay. Sister, you want to type for me while I do mine?
I can.
Okay. I have Def Jam Fight for New York.
All right. That'd be a whole other game. What?
Phyllis Diller.
I don't know what that was, but we're gonna continue. Fight for New York, and then one that I'm sure Cicero thought about maybe, but didn't put on here. Gauntlet Legends.
That's a great one.
Yeah,
Great one.
and then I have to put this one on there because I played it a lot, and the multiplayer feature was highly underrated. Conker's Bad Fur Day for the N64.
I don't even know that had multiplayer.
Yeah, it was Control. It was King of the Hill. I believe that you would control points
Really?
as Teddies versus Squirrels.
Is it still
Available on the live?
Can you still play it now?
I'm not sure if the servers are still on there. They might be.
I know they made didn't they make a remastered Conker? Like
the rare.
Yeah, well,
reboot.
it's in Rare Replay.
No. I mean like a new Conker game.
No,
I thought they made.
Nope, just the original.
All right.
But
Sweet.
it does have multiplayer where you play as either the stuffed teddies and the squirrels and like the normal characters, and then you would fight on like Normandy and like all the different set pieces from the game itself. It was great, a lot of fun. All right, must-haves, Cicero.
My must-have is Rampage World Tour.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Sharif.
I'll go Street Fighter.
Okay,
I think it's the quintessential multiplayer.
I'm gonna go with Gauntlet because
Yeah, Gauntlet.
that thing, even in the arcade from the N64, it was perfect both ways.
I would have voted for Gauntlet if you didn't put it in there.
Yeah.
that's a great one.
All right, let's see what we got here. I'm down for an NBA Jam. Just saying. Out
there
the
you go.
gate,
Yeah.
NBA Jam.
It's just such a man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Such great memories of that in the arcade and the console.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's
many
always
good
a time.
quotes, like just memories of
Yeah.
playing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like also
that's-
things like a big head mode and that kind of
Right.
stuff. Like, man, what a series.
Oh man.
Honestly, for me now, it's like Def Jam
yeah.
or Simpsons Arcade because both of those were just like they're so
Def Jam
high.
Yeah, Def Jam is a great one.
What do you got, Cicero?
So I was leaning Def Jam or a Pit Fighter.
Tell me about Pitfire. I'm not remembering it.
So
it's not coming.
Pit Fighter was one of the few games that was like digital people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was one of the first digital people fighting games, and it was just basically like you fought in like back alleys and stuff like that. It was just a crowd of people around you,
Def Jam.
and you would always be fighting these different people. It was up to three
It was
people
an early
could
version
fight.
of Def Jam,
Yeah, it was an early version of Def Jam. And yeah, so you're fighting, and then spoiler alert, right? Like you get to the end of the game, and you beat all the people, and then you've got to fight against each other, like Kumite style, and there's only one winner.
And I think I remember that the crowd can like throw in like chairs and stuff.
Yeah,
and...
knives, all sorts of things.
Literally an early Def Jam.
It was also like an early game to have like blood in it.
Right.
Like, it blood. It wasn't like Mortal Kombat or anything, but it was one of those early games with blood in it too. Yeah.
I don't know.
Did they ever make a home version of Pit Fighter? I don't remember.
Yeah. Well, yes, it was two
for
players. It was two players on the Genesis, and then when they came out with, it was a Midway game. So when the Midway Arcade Treasures came out, they had the 3-player version. Available.
Pit Fighter was
it says it launched on ZX Spectrum, SNES, Genesis, Master System, Lynx, Game Boy.
It was on the Lynx.
Yeah. You really want to go to the Lynx and play it. All right, you guys decide. I don't remember playing this game. I obviously remember playing Def Jam, but you guys decide. You pick the last one.
I mean, Simpsons is classic.
Right.
Everyone's played it. Well, I guess everyone. I mean, you do have to be kind of a certain age, I guess, to have played it, because I don't think they made home versions of the arcade.
Nope,
not
yet.
I don't think so.
Like there were a lot of Simpsons home games, but they were like
right, but
games.
Not the Simpsons arcade.
But the one thing I loved about that was, and I don't think Turtles or X-Men or any of them had this. You could do those team up moves, right? Like those team up special moves, which was pretty sweet. But Def Jam is also iconic. I think it's between those two, personally.
I think, I go Def Jam.
All right. No, I'll obviously go Def Jam. I loved that game.
Well, there we go.
Snoop Dogg. Come on now. And Little Kim.
Yeah.
All right. So that's our top 5 old school multiplayer games in no particular order: Rampage World Tour, Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Gauntlet Legends, NBA Jam, the Tournament Edition, and Def Jam Fight for New York. And that's our show. You guys survived. We almost died a couple times. Sharif, thank you for coming out again.
Of course.
Always a joyous occasion when we have you on. Lots of fun. Go ahead and give us your little plug. What are you doing? Where have you been?
Yeah, you can find me at SharifJackson.com, ShareEF Jackson.com. Sharif Jackson on all social networks. I recently presented on math and science in role-playing games at Gen Con, so you can check that on Gen Con site. Rivals of Waterdeep, the D&D show that I'm in, recently wrapped up our 13th season, where I was the DM, which is really fun. People fought a house, which is great. And we announced our 14th season will be coming in the fall. So excited about that. Other than that, I'm just I'm teaching and grading and raising a now 10-month-old. So it is what it is, Mike.
A lot over there. Yeah. But we'll definitely put some of your links down below, if not all of them. Glad to have you back. And for all of our fans that are still here listening or watching, thank you, number one. And if you forgot to, or you didn't notice that, like, subscribe, comment down below. Go ahead and feel free to do that now. It's free. And hopefully you enjoyed the episode. This was Test Your Might 84. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Peace.
Peace.